Hi, we've got a lot of great information for you today. Come on back and tune in to finding out about a bus with a lot of vegetables on it that can come to your neighborhood and what's going on at the Thomas Dunn Learning Center. Come on back. Welcome back to City Corner. Hi, I'm Robin Boyce, and in the studios with me today, we've got Mr. Quentin Ward, who is Executive Director of the St. Louis Metro Market. And actually, this Metro Market, Quentin, is a bus.
Yep.
Tell us about this bus, and is this a bi-state bus, or formerly that you have converted into a marketplace where vegetables are sold?
For sure. So yeah, first, thanks for having me on.
Yes.
Really appreciate
I'm
the
excited
time.
about what you're doing.
Yeah, so like you're saying, yeah, the Metro Market is definitely a little bit different than traditional farmers markets. So we were donated a bi-state bus that was turned into a farmers market on wheels. And so we go to different neighborhoods selling groceries at a reduced cost. Really working with the community to bridge the barriers around food accessibility, affordability, and nutrition education.
Most definitely. We've got a lot of food deserts in the city of St. Louis. And so when did you come up with this concept, or was it a group of people that said, hey, this is something that we should do? How did this happen?
For sure. I wish I could take credit when I was on that original team that did that. But that is actually by three founders. They were all WashU grad students. Colin Dowling, our board president, Tej Azad, also on the board, and then also Jeremy Goss. And they really had this idea as a class project, and they were working on it, and it made a lot of sense for them back then. And that was in like the early 2010s, 2011.
Okay.
So had a really great idea, and then the next step was really understanding like, hey, this idea could have a true impact in the community. What are the steps needed from there? And really the rest is history. They put their minds together, and now we're into our sixth season as the Metro Market, really being able to have that impact. Started off with 2 to 3 stops originally, and now up to 8 stops a week for a 30-week season. So a lot has grown over the 6 seasons that the Metro Market has been just around, and so really thankful for the vision that they had at those early stages to understand that it went from this group project to now having a real true impact in the St. Louis community.
So this was a project that started sort of like in the classroom or while they were in school, and they knew there was a need there.
Right.
And so they immediately got an opportunity through bi-state to donate this real wonderful bus that they probably have tricked out into a refrigerator, almost kind of sort of like.
Right.
What do people do when they get the opportunity to come to your neighborhood? When the bus drives up, what are people able to do?
For
Customers.
Sure. Yeah. So the way that I view the Metro Market is so much more than just the grocery store. It's really community building, the opportunity to meet and connect with people that we see weekly, and having that opportunity to really build true, genuine relationships. And so when people are coming onto the bus, you're stepping onto something that's, totally retrofitted, barn wood used for the floors, new iron and things like that being used for some of the different areas that we're having the different fruits and other vegetables and things, and refrigerators, deep freezers, and all those different types of things. So we have everything from the mangoes, the watermelons, and things like that, the apples and oranges.
Amazing.
Oxtails as well too. So a lot of the seniors be buying up the oxtails and turkey legs.
Really?
So we try to make sure that we have, culturally relevant food on the bus because, not only do we want, community trust, but we want to make sure that the things that we're having on the bus are things that the community are looking for, and making sure that we are, being able to add on to what's already happening in the neighborhood.
How do some of the seniors feel when you come into their communities, when the bus drives up? What are they saying to you? What are some of the comments?
Some of the comments is, I think a big part of it is, especially for the seniors, is seeing how neighborhoods have changed over time, how some things have come and went, in regards to different services in the neighborhood. But I think the biggest thing is the 50-cent greens. So
Wow, okay.
So the seniors really are like, they're like, do you got the collard? You got the turnip greens? And our team is really good about making sure that we're always, full to, what we need to have, and making sure that we're taking care of those needs. So if there's conversations about like, hey, we're looking for these items, we try to make sure that we can have them, maybe not at that moment, but down the road. So it's always this continuing of building this relationship over time.
This is good. Now, when does the season start?
So
and when does it end?
Right.
And how does that work in that season?
For sure. So the season started this year at the beginning of May.
Okay.
So the Metro Market runs Wednesday through Saturdays. And we end at the last week of November. So we operate on a 30-week season. So that gives us a time for the off season to really be able to kind of work on that development, work on the new things that we need to be bringing to the table based on community feedback and partner feedback as well too, to be able to provide that next level of care and programming for the following year.
Tell us, how did this COVID, this pandemic, how did
Right.
this affect the project?
We could be
this
here
past
all day
year?
talking about COVID.
I could imagine,
Right.
but you all forged ahead anyway.
For sure.
So
I actually started as executive director in February of 2020.
no way.
So, I had my mindset, the bus is going to be out. We're going to be doing all this great work. And then in March, as we all know, in 2020, everything turned upside down. And so, being a new, ED, making sure, like, how do I not only take care of the organization and the staff, but also how do I take care of the community members that are looking for us to be in the community, to be able to provide that access. And so, I went back to the team and said, hey, what do we do? And we put our heads together, and we had the bus out only for 8 weeks. It was just, the quarters are just too close. We didn't have enough information.
Yes.
But then what we decided to do is we did a pre-packed delivery service. So we did bags of produce that were intended to be for a family of 3 to be enough produce for about a week. And we delivered those to the sites that the bus would have went to anyway. And so families that were in need of groceries and produce were able to go and pick up a free bag of produce at the different sites and with our partners.
So you had some referrals of families that you dealt with already?
Right. So the way that we kind of did it is that we understood that the partners like Lewis and Clark Library, People's Health Center, Affinia, they were already working with the communities.
Gotcha.
And they know the clients very well because they're there every day,
Great referral
24/7.
Yep.
So they knew exactly who to get the food to for the families. And so we were just able to deliver that and allow them to be able to take that step to make sure that families were getting the produce that they needed.
That was excellent. So you had these medical organizations that all came together that helped the community anyway. And it's like, why reinvent the wheel? You were able to partner with those groups to get the food to the people.
For sure. And I think that's something super important of just like how we were able to get through 2020. And it's like really tapping into the partnerships that we have here in the community, whether it be more of the community centers like Lewis and Clark Library, Ferguson Community Empowerment Center, or also some of the different healthcare centers as well too. So really thankful for the support that they showed.
No, they could do nothing but show the support. Now, how and where do you get this beautiful vegetables and fruit from? I mean, absolutely fabulously laid out the way you have it on the bus. Where do you get the food from?
For sure. So with the food, we try to do as much of the locally sourcing as possible. So some of those things are coming from local and regional vendors. And so we're just able to have like, I think it goes back to what I was saying earlier, is having those real relationships with individuals to make sure that we're able to do the work and making sure that we have the relationship with the vendors for them to know like, hey, these are the things that we're looking for, or hey, what's going on, especially with COVID and everything.
Yes.
That really messed up a lot of the food pipeline and the food industry as a whole.
It was scary.
It was tough. And so
Yes.
we've been able to work with our partners just the same way we work with community members to have true relationships to make sure that we're able to get the things on the bus that the community is asking for.
So people are actually, you guys are able to actually survey folks, or you're just taking the word of folks that you might go into a community and ask them a few questions, or they may just come up to you and tell you, hey,
sure.
could you have so-and-so and so-and-so, or do you guys have okra or something like that?
Yep. So that's a lot of how it is. It's the one-to-one relationships. We have done surveys in the past, but we have these real relationships with the community members to where it's like they'll call me on my phone on the business line,
great.
and they'll say, "Hey, where's the bus? Do you have this, that, or the other?" And I'll let them know what we have, and they'll let me know what they're looking for. And so I relay that back to the rest of the staff. So then we make sure that we can have as much as we much as we can. Okra is definitely
Is it on the list?
It's next
Great,
on the list.
some fried okra.
Right. Mayor Ella Jones has already been calling me saying, where's the okra at? So
you're going out to Ferguson as well. Okay, so this bus kind of does a nice little regional tour then.
So we're going as
what are some of the communities outside of the city?
So outside of the city, Moline Acres, Ferguson, then we're also getting into really looking at Bellefontaine Neighbors as well too, because that's also being serviced by us. Riverview is being serviced because of where that stop is at the Lewis and Clark Library.
Yes.
But also looking at even when we're going into the city, like, we're on the north side, we're at Affinia Healthcare on Biddle.
Yes.
We're at People's Health Center. We do work with Care STL on MLK. And then we're also all the way down on the south side as well too, at Affinia Healthcare at Lemp, but also do a stop over in the Dutchtown neighborhood as well too that we're really excited about.
And when the bus comes to one of those locations, how long do you stay?
For sure.
For allowing people to shop?
Definitely. So we're at each location for 2 hours to stop. So today they are at the Affinia Healthcare over on Lemp from 11 to 1.
Okay.
And then they'll go over to the Lewis and Clark Library over in Moline Acres from 2 to 4 today.
Oh, so you do a couple of stops at a day's time?
Yep. So we do 2 stops a day. And so with the bus right now, Wednesday through Saturday, so it's 2 stops per day. We're actually at that point now where we're reaching some of that capacity. And so now it's just that next opportunity for next year of looking at what are the next opportunities to expand and how can we make sure that we're servicing more people at a time.
Now, does expansion mean another bus?
Potentially.
Okay.
Potentially. And I think that's also looking at, what are our partners? What are the community members looking for? Do they need a second bus? Or is it another type of programming? Is it more of a delivery service? So we really want to make sure that we have that feedback before we really make make that next move. But there is a lot of conversation moving forward on what those next steps are.
How can the community support you?
For sure. So the first thing I think is really that letting people know that the metro market is for anyone. Though we're going to neighborhoods with limited food access, the metro market works well and you really see the potential of it when everybody is involved.
So no matter what income, you can participate and shop on this bus
credit,
for what
debit,
you need.
EBT.
Okay, so you've got everything there for the community, no matter who you are, to come and participate and be a part of this, like a farmer's market on a bus.
Right, and so that's the thing, because it's, like I said, it's community building, and that doesn't mean that you exclude somebody based on, demographics or economic.
Exactly, because they need food. Everybody needs food.
Exactly.
Quentin, thank you so much for coming into City Corner and talking about it. We've got all the information up on the big screen for people to call you and find out more information. Make sure, everybody, you get on board and support this wonderful metro market. It's a bus that drives around in the city of St. Louis and St. Louis County with great food and vegetables. We'll be right back.
Many reasons to love St. Louis, you can't pick just one.
What I love about St. Louis is the 79 unique neighborhoods and 108 beautiful city parks, including Forest Park, which is actually larger than Central Park in New York, and the gorgeous Tower Grove Park right here.
And there's always something new to experience, no matter the time of day or the season. So come and experience St. Louis. Missouri Botanical Garden is loved by green thumbs and non-gardening types alike because you can play. You can relax. And there's always something new to experience, no matter the time of day or the season. And learn about conservation and one-of-a-kind plants. So come and experience St. Louis.
And welcome back to City Corner. I'm Robin Boyce, and in the studio with me for this segment is Miss Paula Gardner, who's Executive Director of the Thomas Dunn Learning Center. How you doing, Paula?
I'm doing great.
You
It's
said 7 years to
7
the
years,
day.
almost
It
to
was
the day.
the last time that we had you on the show.
Yes, yes.
God,
Time
7
flies.
years. It does. It's been a nice 7 years, though. I didn't know, it went so fast.
Very, very fast, very busy, very crazy.
A very positive.
oh, yeah,
kind of,
yeah, definitely.
Fast. It was not something that was shocking for people, and we've gone through some really big things here in St. Louis if I think about those 7 years, oh my goodness, But this last impact here for the last 18 months, how has the Thomas Dunn Center been doing during this pandemic? You guys do such wonderful things over there.
We've been hanging in there.
Yeah.
We've been hanging in there. We had a couple of programs start just before COVID.
Wow.
And they came to a screeching halt, obviously. One of those being opening a youth center, a teen drop-in center called The Place in the upstairs of the Marquette Rec Center next door to us. We're in the Marquette
yes.
Park in
Yes.
Dutchtown. And we had about 88 kids coming in there regularly for about 7 or 8 months, and then stop. And we've, had to shut the doors there. And so keeping up with some of those youth over COVID was very, very difficult for us.
How did you do that? I mean, everybody was sent home. No, schools were shut down. I mean, and you work with kids. They need activity, and parents need that kind of help. So what did you all do?
Just phone calls, and we started a tablet renting program. We offered free
Very
Wi-Fi to the community in
Wow.
Dutchtown. A variety of things like that happened. But then on the flip side, our adult education, which is a foundation of Thomas Dunn Learning Center, surprisingly did wonderfully because we were planning on taking our high school equivalency program online we started thinking about it in 2019. We weren't ready so fast, but it forced us to do that. And our director of that program jumped in and figured Zoom out and how to whiteboard math problems online. And we started marketing that, plus the free rental of the notebooks and the Wi-Fi. And our program grew 77% over COVID. Because we were then reaching a whole new audience of people that had to work 2 jobs and couldn't come in for tutoring before, single parents that couldn't escape their kids to come in and study. And because of the way the format and the way our program is set up, our tutors were able to work 7 days a week, morning, afternoon, and evening.
Now,
with
there were
those
lots
folks.
of blessings then that came out of this whole COVID pandemic thing. People say that all the time. There were some blessings that came out of it. New kinds of jobs, a new kind of economy, a new way of learning. It sounds like.
Exactly, and that was a blessing
Or
for
opportunity for those people working those 2 or 3 jobs. Parents who have got kids. It just changed their ability to be able to go on ahead and get what they wanted.
huge opportunity, and we ended up with 10 graduates out of COVID, and that doesn't sound like a whole lot
No,
if you're not real familiar with what it takes to graduate from a high set program and take 5 different tests along the way. But we've only been doing the program for about 4 years, and I think we've got 32 graduates now.
Very good.
Which we feel is a great success, and that's because of the model that we use working. We really get to know our students personally, individually, and then work with them holistically, not just in tutoring for the high set program, but for many things in their life.
Tell us about Thomas Dunn. Who was Thomas Dunn?
Thomas Dunn immigrated from Canada at 21 years old, and in the 1800s he came here penniless and ultimately became wealthy, brand new American, opened up a boys' home in 1930, and that's how we started as a boys' home or an orphanage. We've transformed a couple of times through the years to the point where we're at now, being a community education center. We serve anyone in the region. Almost everything that we do is free, and we provide adult education, youth enrichment, community and civic involvement, a lot of involvement with the community, and arts and humanities programs. So we partner with a lot of organizations to help bring those kind of things to our community to provide to the region.
Now you're in a really eclectic kind of a community where you've got all kinds of diversity.
Yes.
You're first off right there on the corner of is it Marquette Park?
Marquette Park, yes.
And oh my goodness, a pool is over there that's not Thomas Dunn's pool, but it's the City of St. Louis'
City
pool?
of St. Louis. It's St. Louis City Rec Center, the Marquette Rec Center, and they sit there and they have that massive pool that's actually been downsized twice.
Has it?
Through the years.
It was bigger than that?
Used to come up to our building.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, originally. And we built the building in 1991 there.
It's a beautiful facility.
It is. We love it. All the windows and the light streaming in.
Yes.
We've won 5 architectural awards over the years.
Has it really?
Yeah. So it was built by Curtis Ittner of the Ittner Schools, was our board president at the time. So Ittner Bauer Sox built the building, and specifically for our needs and for Thomas Dunn's wishes years back.
Yes.
Actually, this coming weekend is his birthday, and he'll be 179 years old.
Really? Oh my God, I know his spirit is walking through there. Just so happy that you were able to do what you all have been able to do over the years with the Thomas Dunn Center. Now, I know that place is available for weddings and other, or are you still doing that, or is it stopped?
We don't do anything, any kind of rentals with the community or anything.
That's okay.
It's strictly our mission. Our mission is strictly to partner with other nonprofit organizations. We help incubate small nonprofits. We let them use our space and get off the ground, and then we see them fly the nest as they grow. But it's really fun to watch those. And many of those have stayed afloat during COVID too. So not only during COVID were we doing our tutoring, our one-on-one tutoring online, we were doing it in the building. As just 2 people at a time in the building.
All properly mitigated.
Yes,
and everything.
the tutor and their student. But we've also partnered with LifeWise, who has done yoga and Zumba and mindfulness since June of 2020, and they're still doing it 5 days a week, every night at our center. So
we still got activities over there. At this time, you guys have pretty much kind of worked your way through the last, I would say, year or so, figuring it out. So for adults, you still have great activities over there for them to come and join?
Yes, definitely. So we've got those things happening in the evening.
Good.
We have partnerships with Perennial doing arts and crafts. Last week, we moved the arts program outside. We do a lot of things outside.
That's great.
We've got the space to do that. We partner with Story Stitchers and had a dance battle 2 weeks ago out in the parking lot for teenagers.
Wow.
We partner with Umsel Extension and do gardening, cooking, canning. 3 of our incubator nonprofits that have been going strong during COVID are Encore Theater Group, Lit Shop seems to have been doing lots of summer camps there, and Black Girls Do STEM.
Yeah.
Those young nonprofits that we really support.
Is the young lady over there from Black Girls Do STEM, she's working out of Thomas Dunn Center?
Cynthia, yes, she does.
She's a sharp young lady.
She is awesome. And then, of course, we have our youth programs and our adult programs, and we have basic computer classes that we're just starting back up again, bringing class filling classrooms with about 10 people.
Okay, a piece for some of the classes.
We've got plexiglass in between all the computers and in between the cooking stations and everything.
I love that kitchen over there that you all
it's
have.
great.
It's just really a nice, fun place to do a lot of fun activities.
We do a lot of damage in that kitchen.
You do. And I really love some of the functions that I had an opportunity to attend over there, and the community involvement, the way they embrace the Thomas Dunn Center. It's like the people in the community have ownership.
Yes, yeah. Well, we hope that they do.
And that's basically what it is you want them to have, is ownership.
Yes.
Of what's going on.
We started a new community garden called Vines, Volunteers Improving Neighborhood Environmental Sustainability, this past year. And we're just growing vines that people can't grow in their backyard, watermelon, cantaloupes. Green
those
beans.
kinds of vine type edible plants then.
Yes. So the whole south side of our building where the arbor is, we had to take down all the wisteria because it was causing some problems. And so we've just turned that, everything is edible. From the flowers that can be made into teas to herbs to the vining plants, and it's been wonderful to start establishing.
That sounds exciting. So you've got some kids over there planting, adults planting. Is UMSL part of that whole?
UMSL's doing a kids program, a youth program in the gardening aspect, and the rest is community.
That's great. And they're coming over, taking ownership, helping you keep it fertilized and watered, and making sure it's okay. It just makes a big difference. So the Thomas Dunn Learning Center has been one of those catalysts, or one of those bright lights, those beacons in the community that still have the light on.
Yes, we do.
You still have the light on. You said, come on in. We're here for you to really have a good time, learn something, bring something to other people who need help. What do you hope people get when they come in the doors there?
We hope that their lives are enriched in whatever way that looks for them, whether it's coming to a community college class and learning about an in-depth history topic, to a nutrition program, to their high school equivalency certificate.
Make a difference in the community. I thank you so much for coming in, Ms. Paula. We've got all the great information up on the big screen for people to call you and the Thomas Dunn Center to find out more information about how to get involved, how to get over there and take some courses, and just go have a good time. It's a beautiful place. It's magic to me when I walk in there. Paula, it's so good seeing you.
Thank you,
7
Robin.
years is too long. We got to do this sooner.
Thank you so much for
Thank you.
having me and having Thomas Dunn Learning Center again.
Always, thank you. And we want to thank you so much for tuning in to City Corner. We'll see you next time here on City Corner. Bye-bye.